Yo, what's going on, guys? MStack here for That's So Meta, and in this video we're going to be going over spread passing concepts. But as always, before we get started, make sure you hit that sub button. Lets me know that you enjoy the content and keeps the channel growing. Now, this video is going to be more conceptual than money plays, so make sure you pay attention to what's going on the screen, and not so much my voice, because there's a lot of different route combinations that you're going to see that can really stretch the field horizontally, and that's the idea of a spread offense. Is if they're coming out of compressed defense like a 3-4, you want to spread the field horizontally. Too many routes over the middle will be too easy for them to guard. So routes like a deep dig route, curl routes, quick flat patterns if they're not playing hard flats, a flat slant type combo. They're always going to be good against people that are playing with a compressed defense. So you want to be able to make sure that if you see something like this, if you're having a hard time moving the ball from your normal formation, that you have this kind of in your back pocket. Now, one of the other things that I'll do, if I can tell my opponents switching up their defense pretty frequently between different coverages, I'll set up one half of the field to beat a certain coverage and the other half to beat another coverage. For example, if I don't know if they're in cover 2 or cover 3 or 4, I'll put one side with a curl flat concept or a dig flat concept, and then the other side with a flat slant concept. Also, if you are not using deep out routes in your spread offense, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because it beats every single coverage except for cover 2. So make sure that you have that in your arsenal. Now, for those that don't know how to smart route and out route, you just put the out route on the field and then you select that receiver in your hot routes and press RB or R1 to smart route them to the sticks. Now, another thing you can do is if they're not playing hard flats, throw a smoke screen out there. Put athletic receivers on the outside, get them the ball in space, and since the juking is so good this year, why not take a shot at throwing a 1-yard pass and trying to get upfield? Now, what you can also do to stretch the field vertically if your opponent is starting to really key in on your short routes is just quick snap that 4 verticals. 4 verticals from any set will stretch zones. That's the whole idea behind it. Now, you can also do things like low thrown curls, which were extremely popular last year. You'll see in this example right here, we low throw it to the tight end, possession catch. It's always a nice little option to have that. Makes your opponent guard a lot of the field. Now, if they are doing a good job on the outside, guarding your routes, make sure you flood the middle too, especially if they're giving you time. If they're only rushing 3, like for cover 4 drop, you're going to have time to throw the ball. So in this example, you'll see we have 1 deep crossing pattern and 2 underneath patterns, all at different levels. That's very important. Spacing is a huge thing that people forget when they're playing Madden. Have spatial awareness, realize exactly where your routes are going to go. If they're going to run into each other, is the user going to be able to guard all of them at once? Always ask yourself that when you go and do hot routes. You'll see in this replay, we have the drag underneath, we have the slant as our second read, and we have that deep crossing pattern as our third read. Now, it's going to be really tough for a user to guard all 3 of those because they're at different depths. So that's another thing that you should note down. Spatial awareness is extremely important when running a spread offense. Having too many routes in the same area of the field is really going to cause you a problem. Now, if they go cover 2, which is inevitably what's going to happen once you start hitting them with these smoke routes and these deep out routes and the curl routes, you're going to want to try to throw it down the seams. Cover 2 is weak down the seams and right up the sideline between the safety and the corner. Now, the way you throw that pass, you just saw it. You have to put him on a fade on the wide side of the field, pass lead up with the high point pass. That's LB or L1. And try to get a possession catch in. Don't try to go for the aggressive catch, because the longer that you stay in the air, the more chance the safety has to come over and jar the ball loose. So you'll see in this example against cover 3, we saw that 1 high safety, read it right away, 4 verticals right down the seam, nice and easy. Now, there's always that underneath route if you run 4 verticals. You have to make sure you have a check down. So the halfback on the delay route underneath is absolutely crucial if they're covering all your over-the-top patterns. Now, you also want to pay attention to the flat. If they're not putting hard flats out there, hit them in the flat all day. But don't throw it too soon. Make sure you read the defense first. Can't tell you how many times I've thrown picks just because I assume the flats are going to be open and then the CPU baits me into a throw. That's one of the most frustrating things ever. But just give yourself a little bit of time. Know that you're in shotgun. You have a little bit of time to get rid of the ball before the pressure gets there, and make the right read. Now, one of my favorite routes, one of the most underutilized routes in the game, because it's actually very tough to throw, is the comeback route. Now, the comeback route, you have to kind of pass lead that on the right sideline. It's about a 2 o'clock bullet pass lead. You have to pass lead towards the sideline and up a little bit. Same thing on the left side, except opposite. You want to do it at about 10 o'clock pass lead. If your opponent's running hard flats, it's really difficult for their deep zones to play that, even with that 91 zone coverage threshold, you know, is so popular. What you're going to see is your opponent's going to go to a more spread out defense if you continuously like dot them up from this, and that's when you can run the ball. Make sure that when their defense spreads out, you run the ball. Thanks for watching. That's so meta.